Hello Virgo, this is your general tarot reading for August 2015. So, I'm going to do the introduction. I've done it for all of these tarot readings, but my professional name is Aire, A-I-R-E. And I've been reading tarot for a few years, since 2012. That's not very long, but it's something that I've grown to love. I think that I've really developed a gift. I'd like to think that I'm developing my gifts with tarot, so this opportunity to read and sort of reach out to a larger audience is sort of exciting. At the same time, I kept putting it off. So I'm also a Wiccan, and for me, it's not about being a witch and necessarily casting spells or putting curses on people. More than anything, it's been a constant work on myself. And by the way, these cards have been pre-shuffled, and I cleared them with my crystal after every reading. So I'm just shuffling a little bit more before I lay them out. Okay. Usually some cards pop out. Not in this case. So I'm also an English instructor. I have a bachelor's and a master's in English. And so tarot combines reading literature, actually. The Rider-Waite deck that I'm using is probably the most archetypal piece of literature you could ever read. And so tarot combines my love of reading and literature with the esoteric arts. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cut the cards. And I'm going to lay them out. The first row here is going to be the past. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Now, there's an outcome card that I will pull after I finish the rest of the reading here. So this is past, the present energies for your August reading, and then this will be the future. What you're beginning the month of August with, and then what you'll be dealing with here, and as you get closer to September, what's going to be happening. Now, the three cards at the beginning of August, we have the King of Swords in reverse. And when the King is upright, the King means making wise decisions, wisdom, justice, doing the right thing. And the King is an active energy, meaning that he rules with authority. But because this is upside down, it can mean that this king is using his knowledge. There's corruption, basically. He's not being very wise. He's being very vindictive. There's corruption. He's not using his talents for good. There's a distortion of justice here. And because this is the king, a male energy, usually because this is usually wisdom and making the right decisions and doing the right thing, administering justice, clearly this person is not. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean corruption. It can also mean someone who can mentally be very defensive and judgmental and very cruel. We have two pages. A page represents a younger person, a very young, innocent person here. So we have this page, we have two pages here. A page can, meaning, because the page means innocence and being young and vulnerable, it doesn't necessarily mean that this is dealing with an older versus young person, but it can definitely mean someone who is being taken advantage of here. Now, the page can also represent a message. You know that, there can be pages who deliver messages from office buildings. This used to be a job years ago, a professional page, sort of like someone who works in a mail room as well, but someone who delivers messages. But I'm choosing to see this because of the dominance of this corrupt person here who seems to be this person seems to have the upper hand here. And the page is someone who is very innocent here. And the wands represents fire, and this can mean devotion as well. A fire sign here, it can mean a message of a new opportunity, but it can also mean, as far as innocence and being naive, it can represent having faith and trust in a certain situation. And maybe you shouldn't have trust here. If you look at this next card, we have Page of Coins or Page of Pentacles. And this can mean a new opportunity of money. It also means being connected to the physical world. Note how he's standing on this ground and you have a plowed field here. In relation to money and career, this can mean getting some type of news about money or a gift of money. But maybe this person here is taking advantage of you, and as a result, this person is, maybe you made a gift of a loan. You loan some money and you're not getting it back. That can definitely be the case. I'm definitely not seeing this as a romantic situation, although that could be the case here, that you're still loyal to this person here. Or there's an issue of trust, and that trust is going to be betrayed. There's going to be a betrayal of that trust. But here we see, this is definitely about money and resources. And it can also mean not being very logical or practical as well, because coins or pentacles mean being grounded and stable and using your common sense. And if you're not, if you're so naive and being loyal to this person, you're not using your common sense here. And you're ignoring messages of, you know, you're ignoring your groundedness and stability. You're also, it's possible you could also be ignoring reality, that reality is knocking on your door and trying to give you a warning, but you want to stand faithful to this person here. There's a dominant force here. There's definitely some type of circumstances in this situation where you might have been blindsided. And this, you were taken advantage of in this situation. Now, if you look here, that represents what's going to be happening in the month of August in the present at that time. It's the present now, but as you move into the month of August, this is going to be this is how things are going to play out. Now, this is pretty interesting because the Tower means disaster and starting all over again. And the Star is a card of being positive, having positive hopes and dreams for the future here. And it's an emotional card as well. You'll see that water represents our emotions. And there's a positive feeling here that maybe whatever's going on here, this lack of judgment and a lack of common sense here, you're avoiding this. And I think that this is where this card comes in, because Four of Swords, it means resting, retreating, avoiding things. You see this man sleeping here. And it means mentally just checking out here, that you're not going to deal with things, but because it's reversed, it means you're mentally alert. You're being vigilant. You're not going to sleep. You're not avoiding things. And maybe you're avoiding because you're being a little bit more alert and you've had your wake-up call. We have this positive situation. We have a ray of hope after this loss. And you're able to head off this disaster here. And the interesting thing is that because you've been vigilant and able to head off this disaster that comes from a lack of judgment or lack of common sense here, you're also able to deal with this negative energy. Now, keep in mind that the Devil upright can mean personal bondage. It can mean an addiction. It can mean a toxic, dysfunctional relationship. And so it means being released from bondage. There is a positive aspect to this card. It means that someone is no longer being the nice guy. They're revealing who they are. They are unleashing their intent and their will, even though it might ruffle a few feathers or bother people. And so maybe now there's an escape from bondage here, that you're getting away from this person who has taken advantage of you. And more reversals. And I try to, shuffle and the cards and, you know, just mix them up a lot. So this is a card about, and you're an earth sign, Virgo. So this is a card about planting. It's about being patient and waiting for an outcome. And you see this farmer on his staff or wand waiting for this positive outcome. But that's not the case. There's no more patience, and there's definitely no more investment here. You're no longer Virgo. This is your sign. Remember, this is Earth and stability. You're no longer investing and waiting around here. I think that's interesting. That there are no more planting seeds and waiting for it to grow. Nothing is going to grow here. And this is the card of, this is 9 of Wands. This is the card of uncertainty. And it means being insecure, uncertain. You see this man, he's looking very, very cautious here. He's not sure what's going to happen. He's surrounded by all these wands. But there's no more uncertainty here. You're confident. You know the direction you're going to go. And it seems as if that when you look at how the cards are grouping together, especially in this row, this is past, present, future, but you know, when you look at how this row is working together, that there seems to be some disaster that's been avoided, and you've found a little bit more confidence and certainty about the situation. That you've kind of stopped whatever it is that you were investing all your time and all this waiting around for an outcome. You're done with that. And I think a lot of it has to do with the positive energy of the star. Maybe you had a realization of, you know what, things could be a lot better if this wasn't going on. And so I think that there was a little bit of a wake-up call for you, Virgo. There will be a wake-up call. But you're also going to see things in a much more positive light and not avoid the situation anymore. Because if you do stick around with this person or this situation, it could have ended up in disaster. It will end up in disaster. And you're no longer in that uncertain situation. You're no longer in this bondage of fear or being taken advantage of. Okay? Very interesting. And Virgo, you are always the practical people. You know, and you also like to keep things under control as well. So being taken advantage of is definitely, you are not the one. You are not the people to do that to. And if someone tries it, whoa. Okay, I will take this card. Ace of Cups. Yeah, Virgo, you are not the people to do that to. You are not the one. And you don't you don't retreat, you don't stay asleep or run away from things. You tackle them head on. Because, you know, you have to be in control of the situation. Disaster is not something, you're not a passive person when it comes to problems here. So this is looking out pretty well for you, Virgo. Ace of Cups, a new beginning in love and relationships, but it also means emotional fulfillment here. And there have been no cups at all here. It's all been swords and wands. There is water here. There is emotional fulfillment here because you see the Ace of Cups. You see the water below. And so you get your happy back. And you are released from the situation. And this could mean actually a new relationship. It's not just about a money situation that or a situation in your home or career that you've had to deal with. I do know that it could very well be a particular person, but it can also just mean feeling content and happy. And it also means the beginning of psychic abilities too. You see this dove that represents the Holy Spirit here. That with the Ace of Cups, there comes emotional fulfillment and this happiness and joy. But you also have the Holy Spirit here, this bird bringing spiritual happiness as well. The beginning of this new spiritual journey here. So, Virgo, August will be a very interesting month, but it seems as if it's going to turn out very well for you here. So, that was your tarot reading for August. I hope this brought you some clarity, and I hope to see you in September. So enjoy the rest of your summer.